Hello everybody. Can you see me?
Flowers are a thought, a connection. Flowers are a hello, thinking of you, a happy.
Hello everybody. I've got a delay here, which is probably going to cause a bit of an issue. Well, yeah. I can't see myself in real time, which is very strange. So I've muted the computer and we'll get on with it, and hopefully this works. If you're having any issues, say it to me in the chat. I can see that, and I'll see what I can do. This is the first time I've done this on the computer. You need all these encoders and stuff now. It's very different to how it is on a phone, but you can't do an event you've pre-organised from the phone, so it'd have to be a spontaneous one. So, hello all, 116 watching. I've just read that I'm trying to outshine the Queen here. I didn't realise, but you know, I've postponed this once, so I'm not going to again. Can't we see your house? No, I've cloaked it in a tarp. So I suppose I should get the old beer open so we can begin. I've got a few things to talk about this time, so it's not going to be just answering the same old questions again. Try and keep it a bit more interesting. Hello, Andrew Forrest. David Grohl. Oh, there's no L there. Hello. So yeah, I might be reading out comments a bit late because of the delay. A bit bright on my face. I shall dull it down a little bit, but I won't be able to see how good it is for about 20 seconds. And I may dull it down a bit more, but I need to be able to see the screen. We are on Punk IPA tonight. I only have two. I was in a virtual pub last night with some friends, and I had more than I thought. Hello, Robert Robinson. Can I mention you and your site in my new book? Yes, you can. Of course you can. I need to email you still. That's the have it handy here. Legend Tripping is in the chat. I've still not read it. I need to. I started it and yeah, things got a bit crazy. But yeah, I need to give that a proper read. Yeah, watch the Queen later. You know what the Queen's going to say. Stay indoors. And during the war. But you are all indoors, so you're all good people. Right, so sip of the beer. Punk IPA, you had one earlier. Good old Brewdog. Virtual pub quiz. Maybe next. Light is better. That's good. Maybe I'll go down one more. I forgot to kind of check up on it. Have I ever had a tick? I have not ever had a tick. I've not even seen one in any of the places that I camp. Yeah, I don't know. There's deer there, so I don't really know what's going on. If you see me looking to this side, that's because I'm looking at the chat. Elvis juice. I don't really like the Elvis juice. A bit strong in the taste. So I was going to talk about a few things that I've got next to me here, just, you know, for the fun of it. I'm sure, like all of you, been doing odd jobs and them things you never get around to and stuff like that. Hello, Owen. And it's kind of nice to have that time to do them things and that kind of motivation. So kind of ticking things off the old list. And I did get out for a walk the other week. I've only been able to go out in evening walks just as the sun's going down for half hour or so, because I can't walk outside the house here. It's just too busy. Yeah, so I've been out with the old Food for Free and Mushrooms books, and yeah, just had a little bit of a forage, got some nettles and some sticky weed, some violets, no ramsons around here like at the permission I've got. Did a bit of a soup with them, just kind of reacquainting myself with some of the wild edibles and that. This Collins Gem Food for Free, I mean it's tiny so you can stick it in your pocket on a walk, and it has in it, if I can find it here, you're probably not going to see it, but it has a calendar so you can go to the month and it will tell you up. But yeah, it's good, and it's good in conjunction with that because you can identify a mushroom and then you can check it in Food for Free, check it if it is the one that's in season and things like that. So that's one of the things I've been doing. Got loads of ticks in Sweden. Ooh, Lyme's disease. See, when I was in Sweden, I mean, I guess it was too cold for ticks probably. It was like -4 when I was there. But yeah, I'm sure I would have had issue with them if I went a bit later. Oh, shipyard owl. Yeah, they have that in the old Weatherspoons. I like that. So what else have I been doing? I've been in the garden. Well, it's a tiny garden. We'll call it a garden. Done a new spoon. Nice little kink in it. This one's been sanded already. Sycamore, I think. And I have roughed out a knife, a butter knife. It's quite big actually. But this is the first spoon I've done, excuse me, to completion in a year. Probably over a year. I kind of half did one in a rush on a video, but just didn't have the time with all the filming. But yeah, very happy with this one. It's a nice spoon. But yeah, this was going to be a spatula, but it had a crack coming down it, so I went the route of starting out roughing out a butter knife. I'm just at home, George. So yeah, that's why I put this up. So it's just not busy, horrible furniture and stuff in the background. Thank you, Jason. Cook breakfast on fire live stream. I'd like to, if things are just a bit tricky at the moment. I've filmed a video for my next video for this week in the garden. It's a tiny little garden. It was very difficult, and I'm very near a motorway. And yeah, so I've done a lot of sound editing. It's a silent one because I didn't know if I'd be able to use the sound at all. So we'll see how that goes. You can give me some feedback on that. You can't have my barbecue sauce recipe. I would have to kill you if I told you. But I may make some. We shall see. Adnam's beer, this is good, yeah. Yeah, make me a mod. Can I do that here? Boom. There you go, mate. Right, next on the agenda. These are things that I never think to talk about in a video. This one is something I've been meaning to mention on a camp for a while. The stream, I've downed the quality. I'm really getting the hang of this. You know, this is... so you'll all recognise this. This is my usual Olight H2R? H1R Nova. H1 Nova. And that's my usual head torch. I've got this Nightcore one. Apparently, as far as I can see, it's the smallest one you can get. I'll give you a close-up, but I can't really, because I've got no real-time feedback of what you're seeing. It's hard. But I got this as a little backup. It does all the things. You can put it on a bike and on a dog's collar and things like that. But I got it as a little backup because it takes up no room in my possibles pouch. And if a battery went, I didn't have a charger, whatever the situation, I can just stick it on the, well, you get the idea, I can stick it on the strap to the other one, or anywhere really. Just thought it worth mentioning. It's just a cool little thing. It's called, well, it's by Nightcore. I'm sure you'd find what it is. It's a tiny little thing. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was cool. I keep forgetting to mention it on a video as a little backup headlamp. Oh, Edgar's, thank you. Nearly 150 subs, yeah. It's crazy. It's slowed down a bit now. Lex Luthor, thank you also. Yeah, pushing 150. It really sped up after 100, didn't it? Crazy times. What are you doing to kill time these days? Yeah, I'd rather be in the forest too. Yeah, as I've been saying, I've been doing a bit of carving and a bit of identification on a walk, cleaning out the shed, that sort of thing. Thank you, Motty Lad. Andrew, I was saying, what camera do you use? Well, if anyone's interested, I use a Canon, which I thought I had here. It's a Canon EOS M5. No, it's not, it's an M3. So it's got a lot of manual features and stuff, but it's not a full-size SLR, but it takes the lenses. 3 dislikes. God. Anything scary happened to you while camping? Have you met any nutcases? No. On the way to camp, a couple of times I've bumped into people who watch the channel. I suppose if I'm going to bump into anyone who watches the channel, it's going to be out there. But they've been nice as pie. No nutcases really. Me and Tom, when we camped in the church ruins, there were some people at like 4, 5 in the morning or something, just walking around the ruins. It was crazy. And it was even earlier than what it seemed because the clocks had just changed. But that woke us up. Need to learn how to carve spoons. Any tips? I just watched some videos and stuff like that really. Yeah, practice really, roughing it out with the axe. The more you take off with the axe, the better, because it's easier to take material off with the axe than with a knife. But also, it's more precise with a knife, so you just have to get that point really. I would love to come to Canada, Mr. Bike Rider. I would love to. Just put in some pure cotton. I use old t-shirts, just cut into little squares. Just bang it on the fire for a while. It's kind of judging when to take it off. You just get the hang of it really. 5 minutes or so. Learned off Mr. Des Catty's, when you take it off, if you put a little stick in the hole, it just stops any reignition of the char material when the oxygen goes in. Thank you, Sean. Thank you very much. I'm afraid you cannot upload new videos. Well, I've got one made for Wednesday. That's from the garden, but I've tried to make it seem like it's not so much in the garden. We'll see how it goes across, but that's a cooking one. And we'll see what happens with that. Do a week out on the lakes with Joe Robinette. That'd be cool. If I ever go out there, I'll send him a message. I know he watches the channel, so it'd be quite cool to meet up. I was early, yes, sorry, I kind of just started. I wanted to check this was working because, yeah, last time we had the issues, I had to swap to the phone and that, so yeah, sorry about that. For those who have missed, I'll just give you a little quick update. Been doing some plant identification, just brushing up the knowledge, a little carving. This is still in motions, and yeah, I've got a video for this this week pre-prepared. Do I take the L200 green laning? I do. I've always got things to do on it, so I don't do it kind of in quite a extreme way. Right. Yes. Beer, important. Right, what's next? This come through the post. It's been wiped down with antibacterial wipes. But I've had a little play. I'm not very good with this sort of thing these days. But it's a Casio Smartwatch Pro Trek. And yeah, it's got all maps built in after something in watch form, but you know, if it does the job and it's got all the maps built in, then I'll give that a go. So when I can get down to Dartmoor, up to Peak District or something like that, you'll probably see me trying that out. I had a little play, and putting in the destination, it just gave me a straight line as the crow flies. So I think I need to read the instructions properly. Sorry if I miss any messages. Got like 2 windows open here, or 3 windows really. Good evening, Ryan. So I'm going to go between kind of doing things and the answering some comments. I didn't want to be completely without things to talk about this time, rather than just reading out comments, which I know can get a bit boring, especially if you're watching back a live stream. Andy's famous chili. I've got 2 famous chili recipes. I was trying to get together a location to do it, an interesting location, which I did get permission for, and yeah, and things got a bit messed up and that, and hopefully I'll get to do that. Ever thought of meeting up with John from Carlisle? John's offered me to stay over up at his, to meet up and go camping. Hopefully he'll be able to do that one day. Very kind of him to offer that. Yeah, it's just a very long way. I had to make a real trip of it. Queen's message weren't all that. I'm betting she said stay indoors, these are unprecedented times, and something about during the war. That's my guess. Am I right? Who saw it? My husky and me, I think I know who that is. Hello Joe and Chris. Chocolate in your chili? I do. I put cocoa powder actually in my one, unsweetened cocoa powder. If I could go camping in other countries, where would it be? I would really love to go back to Sweden, anywhere in Scandinavia really, and I will do. Would love to go to Canada, really would. Yeah, there's a few places. Got it spot on. Do you always use jute tie and paracord? Do you ever use natural fibres? I've used roots before, but when using natural fibres, when I do my videos, time is the real killer. There's things I'd like to do that I can't, just purely because of time sometimes. And sitting there for 4 hours making cordage from nettles, I just don't have the time. And that's one thing I'm enjoying about right now, is that I'm getting around to some things that I don't normally have time for. And that's good for me, because I kind of stick with what I know a lot in videos, which wasn't the original intention of them, but that's, you know, the restriction of the time and to get the video done. But yes. Oh, thank you. Still? I hope I'm getting that right. Thank you very much. Cheers. Yeah, so it's good for me to practice a few things during this time, and that might make me quicker at doing them in a video and be able to present it in a nice way, because I don't like doing videos about one specific thing down to that kind of detail level. They've all been done. I like to put things into, you know, the grander scheme of things and hide things in there, you know. The only people who are going to watch a video about making nettle cordage are those interested in doing it and searching for it. Whereas if I'm out cooking some delicious food or on a camp, more people will see that video, and if I do it in that video, then, you know, they can absorb it without even really thinking they're learning. You know, them sort of techniques for learning. Jealous of my beer. Cheers. Slovakia, hello. Hello from Scotland. Hello. Cannock Chase. I'll have to Google it. Right, so how many people we got in here? 200 over. I thought I'd do this on a live stream. I was going to do it in a video, but I got this little parcel from YouTube Gods. Little letter that appears to have a printed signature on. I don't know what you can see because I can't see the current view. And there we go. You can see yourself. Hopefully you can't see all the details on my computer screen. Yeah, that's my presented to Kent Survival for passing 100,000 subscribers. It's the only thing I've ever got that I'm really proud of. So yeah, let's try and make that 1,000,000 one, because that's the next one. Just stick that all. Bugger. Oh, am I back? I think I've been back, but been staring at the screen. Sorry, I didn't realise I was actually back. The error message is still up. This kind of 20-second odd delay is a bit weird. Right, so sorry about that, guys. Sub to you at 30k subs. Thank you. I mean, from 40 to 140 has just gone freaking crazily fast. I suppose that's kind of how it goes. You get that ramp up and then you hit a point and, yeah, you reach the peak. Yeah, 10-15 second delay. It's a bit weird. Yes, I'm pretty happy with that award. I'll have to stick it up at some point. Hi from Linda in Somerset. Hello. And thank you, Jackie. Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, it's nice to have the award. Bugger. Have 5 more beers. I've only got 1 more beer. I've just pretty much finished this one. My connection was coming up as good earlier, but yeah, it's a weird one. Any other bushcraft channels I recommend? Oh, it's the top of my head. Excuse me, there's loads of them. Obviously, the guys that you've seen in my videos, like Simon and Simon of Black in the Woods. Excuse me, Tom Outdoors, Albion Camping, all these people. Carlisle 195, Joe Robinette. I mean, most of the channels I watch pretty sort of bigger than my one, really. Who are the little guys that you may not know? I can't think off the top of my head. I've not got my list in front of me. I mean, today I was watching Lundy Wild Camping, Wiltshire Man. I was talking to Tom Outdoors the other day, actually, so yeah, we'll try and set something up when all this is blown over. Our last one got cancelled. I forget, really bad weather or something. Tim Robson, hello Tim. Yeah, check out Tim's channel as well. They were asking about other channels. Yes, I've got people to talk to, thank you. Mac Kitchen, hello. Yeah, so what other things was I going to discuss? Let's have a little look. That's not it. Oh yeah, I was gonna say to you guys. Me and Simon, we kind of met through YouTube. Just to answer that, what do you want me to cook on a rock? So this is a bit of an ongoing sort of series now. It obviously brought in a lot of subscribers, so a lot of people are here for that sort of thing. So I want to do more rock cooking and other primitive cooking forms. So what do you want me to cook on a rock, or in another primitive way? So let me know in the chat there some ideas. Some lamb was one of them. I'm going to do a new oven as well, so don't worry about that. There'll be a rock oven coming. There's clay at this new permission, so rocks and clay. I'll be able to make a nice oven. Soup. Funny you should say that. I'm working on something there. Me and Simon, yeah, we'll be meeting up. Don't you worry. An egg, white eggs on the breakfast and the mixed grill. Satay, interesting. Chicken Kiev, maybe when I do the oven. Middlesbrough Parmo, I don't know what that is. Sheep's head. Lamb's definitely on the list. Another storm video. I'll have to wait for another storm. But yeah, I will try and do some more bad weather camping. I know people like it. It's just something that's very difficult to film because you pretty much have to film inside your shelter. So it's a funny one. I will be building a clay oven. Pit cooking, yeah, I've done it. Did a video on it, God, in the first year of the channel, I think, and I will do it again. I did some pulled pork shoulder in the pit oven. Oh, hiya, Daniel. Yeah, I'll owe you a breakfast, mate. It's Daniel I. Burton, who's Slope's Game Room, if any of you like your classic games. Anything to catch in that stream? I shall be looking. I'm thinking there's probably crayfish. Most people know that I'm not too into my seafoods and stuff like that, but I'll give it a go. I'll make a trap on my to-do list when I get back there. Chicken tikka wings. Yeah, I was thinking of some kind of primitive kind of curry. Was it someone said Bushcraft Balti in a comment? I'll definitely be doing that. I'd cook me a curry at home, so I was thinking I could do naan bread, do the whole deal. Whole pig. It's been on my mind. Plans for the future. Definitely some builds. I think I'm going to do an A-frame shelter, and that's going to be kind of a temporary shelter. Something to stay in while I work on a bigger shelter. So I wanted to get on it, by now, but with all this, I couldn't. So my plans are to do probably an A-frame shelter, hopefully completely natural, maybe a bit of a fire pit with the oven and that, and then I've got somewhere to stay, and I'll be able to build maybe a small cabin type thing out of all natural materials, so we shall see. Stinging nettle bread, nice, from the seeds. I did stinging nettle and sticky weed soup the other day. No, I don't really like shellfish, but I will give crayfish a go, or crawfish. There's got to be some in there. Please promise to do a Halloween video this year. I already have a location picked and somebody to do it with, so watch this space for Halloween, provided we're allowed out. I have had my dinner, yes. Can't even think what I had now. Oh, kind of a bit of a roast. Clay chimney. We'll see. If I do the cabin, maybe. It's not going to be as good as your one, Tim. That is a masterpiece, that fireplace. Are you thinking of building a bug-out truck? Oh, my truck is my bug-out truck. There's some work it needs doing to it, for sure. But, yeah, I've got to mount my wheel on it and stuff like that still. Yep, lots and lots of plans. Who made my intro music? Audiotronics. The track's Plantation. I was using different tracks for the intro, and that one it's my favourite, so I've been using it and use it. I think I may have slowed it down to fit the the segment. I can't remember. I'm not married, no. I think I talked about all my subjects already that I was going to talk about. What else was there? I always do this if I'm doing any kind of public speaking or in a meeting or something. I just blurt everything out really quickly. Need to pace. Hello, Cape Town. Full veggie meal, is something on the list actually. A veggie mixed grill is what I'm kind of thinking. Probably on a rock. Today's world. Did you make your Kent Survival logo? I did. It's the outline is the shape of the county of Kent, and the horse in the middle is the Kent Invicta horse, whatever you want to call it. And he wants to know what video editing software I use. I use Final Cut on the Mac because it's what I know. It's what I'm trained to use. Just wondered how you felt about Leave No Trace as you build structures. I know the structures I build, where they are and what's going on with them, and I will always return them to nature afterwards, as you've seen me do on 3 different camps now. Excuse me, that's the punk. Yeah, it's yeah, everything that I do will be returned to nature. Actually, probably 4 shelters really. I've done like temporary ones as well, haven't I? Like 1-day builds and stuff. But I'm on a permission. I generally use just natural materials, so there's no big issues there. Where did I find my flat rock? I've cooked on a few different rocks. Slate is just great. As long as it's dry, it's great. You can get nice flat pieces. How many hours filming do you do for one episode? Completely depends on the video. A cooking video can be anything up to 6 hours. If you think about it, there's fire lighting and fire prep and prepping the food, cooking the food, eating the food, and everything takes twice as long when you're filming it. So yeah, 6 hours, and then your trekking time and travel time and stuff like that on a cooking video, maybe. And obviously an overnight video can be like 24 hours. You know, it's not constant, but depends, completely depends. Rebecca Hughes, are you good at baking cakes? I wouldn't say I'm good, but I can bake cakes. What is my preferred fire starter? I really enjoy using flint and steel. Cake on a rock. Well, maybe in the rock oven. Sorry, my phone keeps going off, but I think it's people in here probably taking the mickey. I'll check it later. Do you prefer bushcraft to wild camping? I think they go hand in hand in a way for me. Wild camping, no, I haven't stuck. Froze for a second then. Well, yeah, wild camping can range in different things. I'm not someone who enjoys kind of stealth camping too much. Can't kind of relax. I don't want that in the back of my mind all the time that I'm trying to get away with something. I just want to enjoy what I'm doing and do what I want when I'm doing it. See some nice vistas and stuff like that when I'm kind of wild camping. But yeah, like the bushcraft element, you pretty much have to be with permission and stuff here, because knives, fires, all of that stuff, all the frowned upon stuff. Best advice to someone in the UK wanting to do bushcraft camping, where to find? Yeah, it's just hard. It's hard. I mean, wild camping is easier to get away with than the bushcraft probably, because building axes, knives, fires, you'd need permission really. I mean, there's more wild woodland kind of campsites that have been kind of popping up around the UK, thanks to search. But yeah, it's tricky one. I've not camped for 3 years, no. Do you have any tips on surviving isolation, boredom? Do things. Whether it's organising, learn something, make something, make the most of what you've got. Bloopers videos. This will sound kind of a bit weird, but I don't have many bloopers. You tend to get more bloopers when you're filming with another person, and I've only done solo stuff recently, so I haven't got too many. The odd trip up and stuff like that, but the ones that I have had lately, I tag on the end of the video after the final sort of credit thing. like the pancake that went in the fire and things like that. I'll tend to do that now because there's just not too much of it. Yeah, the old spoon carving's a good distraction for anyone who missed that one. That's well, I roughed it out in a day and then kind of finished it off the next day. Didn't take too long. And that's my roughed out butter knife that I'll continue with tomorrow. But yeah, do them things you always want to do. Practice a skill, read a book, make something. I really like the videos in the snow. Do you have plans to go somewhere in the winter? This winter, not even Scotland really had much in way of snow. Not that I could get up, you know, straight after it's happened and that. There just wasn't snow anywhere this winter. It just didn't really happen. It was very mild. I had everything kind of ready to go, waiting for the snow, but yeah, it's a real shame. Well, let's answer a couple of questions. Quick fire. I did not make my wooden bowls and plates. I would really like a lathe. I may even do a pole lathe in the woods if I get the time. My oil lamp is a generic one, eBay, I think, both of them. But I do have a few on hand that I'm restoring at the moment. Hammock or ground tent? Ground tent for me, I don't sleep well in a hammock. Keep saying I'll give it another go, and I will do this year. I've got a hammock and everything, but don't have an underquilt, so it has to be in good weather that I'll try it. Camping alone or with another? If I've got things to do and stuff, I prefer doing it alone. But yeah, it's nice to do it with others. I have camped with others off camera. If there's more than one other person, I find it hard to film because you've got private conversations going on, and you know you don't want to keep stopping people if you're walking and stuff. So it can be hard actually filming with other people, especially whereas I have a plan in my head of what video I'm making, like excuse me, what skill to show, what activity to do, what to cook, stuff like that. So that's just easier on my own. Bushcraft lathe, yeah, it's on my list. A little pole lathe. Do you watch videos? And I never used to watch any videos or radio or anything when I camped. I did get a little radio and I used it a couple of times. And I have another one now, but generally no. Did I make any mistakes when I first started camping? No glaring mistakes, I don't think. But you just get better at everything as you go along. I guess something like fire prep's a good example. When you first start making campfires and stuff, you quickly learn to get twice as much as everything to what you need. And then you probably still won't have enough. So twice as much tinder, kindling, fuel, just twice as much as everything. Where do you see your channel in 2 years? I think on Social Blade it tells you exactly where it should be. I don't know. Doing the exact same sort of stuff, I would hope. Yeah, maybe getting on more trips. That's what I'd like to do. I was, just before all this stuff kicked off in late January, I was looking at a trip to take, and I saw this coming and I thought, it's not good to travel. Are you tempted to canoeing? I've done plenty of canoeing on the channel. I was looking to buy my own because I don't own one, but I don't have anywhere to put it. Can anyone camp any forest without permission? No, well, not here. You can't. Everything is owned in the UK by somebody. There's no kind of free land. We don't have the right to roam as kind of Scandinavia and Scotland. Yeah, in England you have basically Dartmoor, I think, is the only official permission place. they started a scheme for wild camping. People who own woodlands and beauty spots, to allow people to camp there. You pay a certain amount of money, and you have permission to camp on that land. But it has to be in a particular spot, and you have to stick to their rules. I can't remember the name of the website. Where are you, Andy? I'm in Erith. I'm not in Erith. But I've been to Erith. Can you turn your mic up? I'm going to be honest, I have no idea. Maybe it appears to be at full volume on there. Maybe I should just talk louder. I would love to buy my own land. I would love to get as off-grid and as kind of self-sufficient as I can be. That's my ultimate goal, and if I can get to that goal, that's something that will feature in the channel more obviously. I would love to make somewhere to live, to build somewhere to live, and yeah, do all of that stuff. Doesn't necessarily have to be in the UK. Nearly Wild Camping, someone said. I think yes, I think that might be the website. Do you find yourself dwindling these days, being isolated, motivated enough to research your future content? Yeah, I've been. I filmed a video in the garden. I've got 2 videos I'm working on. One needs more filming. One just needs some voiceover done for it. That'll be another 2 in the bag. And yes, I'm writing down lists of things I need to do other videos, things to cook, shelters to build, all that sort of stuff, places to visit. Hello, hello, hello. Definitely a long time viewer there. That's the best shout out you can get though, because I don't know your actual name. I would grow food if I was off grid. I would love to do that. I heard about this BBC Homestead in Alaska thing, but I don't have a TV. I don't watch TV. I want to get into wood carving. Wizzy. I'm no expert on wood carving, but I grab what I can. If it's green wood, then it's easier to carve, but you have more risk of it splitting while it dries. You have to dry it slowly if you can. Maybe keep it in a bag with some of its shavings and stuff like that. Excuse me. If you're in the UK, lime wood is a good carver. That is what Americans call, I can't think what they call it now, but it comes in carving packs and stuff. See you, Tim. But yeah, sycamore's a good wood. It's got anti-bacterial properties. They used to use it for breadboards, chopping boards and stuff. Birch, you've got to get it quite soon before it kind of rots away and that, but it will get some nice spalting in it with birch. So spalting is when you get the fungus kind of growing through it, and when you carve it you have all the patterns. Chris Harbour, natural building is on my sub list. What beer is everyone drinking? Well, I'm on a punk. What are you guys on? My freaking last one. G&T. Basswood. Basswood, that's it. That's what limewood is here. Limewood is not related to lime fruits. It's kind of a class of a subspecies. I don't pretend to be an expert on anything. I'll just pass on what I learn. Doug Linker. I think that's in my sub list as well. That name does ring a bell. Ghost ship. Oh, give me one. My favourite gear fetish. I guess it's stoves like everyone else. Even though I generally always use a campfire. I've got so many stoves. I've not got a new drone yet. I decided to hold off on a drone because they don't like me much. When I used to use my friend's one for the older footage and older videos, never had a problem with a Mavic. And then the Mini, yeah, I did crash it before I lost it, so that may have had something to do with it. Are women throwing themselves at you now you're famous? Are you saying they wasn't before? Of course they're not. I think it's 99% male audience on the channel. No, I'm lying, it was, but the bigger the channel's got, the more diverse it's got, younger viewers and female as well, which is it's good to see. Hello Nova Scotia. I'd love to be over there. Right, so is there a lot of people here now that weren't here an hour ago, half hour ago? Shall I kind of cover my topics again that I was going to talk about, or are you all the same people as before? Is it true you can tell the age of a tree by the rings when you cut it? Well, I believe so. It seems to be true because each ring is like a year cycle of growth, and on a lot of modern material wood, it's they grow them as fast as possible, and so they don't have such a tight grain structure, and that's why so much pine wood that you buy for construction now is terrible, really weak. Just yes. I do have tattoos. I'll go over some stuff again then. So I was saying earlier, because we can get out for a bit of a walk now and again, that I had a little kind of twilight walk in the woodland. I can't really walk close to here because it's too many people, so I drove down the road to the woodland. Absolutely no one there. It was lovely. Barely any traffic to here. Really peaceful. I wanted to stay the night. But I did a little identification on the way. If you don't know these, they're Collins Gem books. You've got Food for Free, and this is just called Mushrooms. And using the two together, excuse me, that's the beer. It's really good for identifying wild edibles. And while I was there, I picked up some nettles, some sticky weed, some violets and stuff, and made a bit of a soup. But yeah, good little books because you can just shove them in your pocket and quickly identify things. They tend to have photos and diagrams as well, which is cool. And the Food for Free has a calendar in it, so you can easily identify from the month of the year if that's in season. Because especially at the beginning of the year, kind of March and that, you've got a lot of things coming through, and they can look very similar, like Lords and Ladies and wild garlic and stuff. Even kind of burdock leaves, they can all look very similar when they first start coming through, and you don't want to eat the wrong thing. But yeah, they're good little books. So yeah, I've done a little bit of foraging and kind of learning myself. I've been in the garden doing some carving. Did this spoon, first one in a year that I've done to completion. I'm really happy with it. That's sycamore, I think it was. Anyway, so there's that, and I've roughed out a butter knife, which was originally going to be a spatula, but there was a split in the other half of this in the branch, so I had to turn it into a butter knife instead. So finish that off tomorrow. What else did I talk about? Oh, I did talk about this. This is my backup head torch at the moment. I've got my Olight, which I got out before, but this is a night core, and hopefully you can see how small that is. I keep this in my possibles pouch, and if the battery goes, if I don't have my backup or my power bank or anything, I can just get this. And yeah, just shove it on. It's rechargeable. It's a cool little thing because it just takes up no extra room. Yeah, it's quite bright as well. I think it's almost as bright as the Olight on medium, which is generally what I use it on anyway. So that is that. I'll get out the other thing I talked about earlier in a bit for latecomers. Frequently see forage items in your B-roll. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to go out specifically to forage specific things because you don't know if you'll find them. I mean, I know at this new permission I've got tons of wild garlic, so I know that's sorted whenever I go there. But it's like on random videos you'll see me maybe pick up, like I did the giant puffball mushroom, or like I did a ration review in the woods, so I picked up some oyster mushrooms and things like that. It's as and when I see it. I can't really plan a video around it so well. Let's go back to the comments for a minute. Do you think you would design a knife? I watch Forged in Fire, and I'd love to have a go at knife making, but I'm no expert. I can't design a knife. Do you have anything you would like to tell us about? If I think of anything, I will tell you. Where do you get all your gear from? I get what works for me from wherever. I'm not super loyal to anyone in particular. No one sort of pays me. I've specifically made sure of that. I generally use Slognac, which is a branch of Decathlon, hunting branch for clothing, because it's inexpensive and really durable. I don't like paying over the odds for certain things, certain brands. Yeah, whatever works for me. Like my 4-season sleeping bag you see in most of my camping videos is a Mountain Warehouse. You know, that's not a brand that anyone brags about, but the bag has worked well. Yep, my Hurricane lanterns are no brand ones, so I do have a Fjord Hand one now that I'm restoring. That's one of my videos I'm working on. What countries have I camped in? I've camped in England, and I've camped in Sweden now, and I think that's it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. So, well, my plan was to change that this year, but, you know. Yes, as Inwin said, be careful when foraging, especially when things are just coming through. You can get things muddled very easily and pick the wrong thing. Are you ever afraid in the woods on your own at night? Generally not, no, because it goes quiet and there's no one about. I do like a bit of noise. It makes me feel more comfortable. A bit of rain, a bit of wind. When it's completely still, every little noise you hear. But I like some white noise, if you know what I mean, especially rain on the tarp. Do I like millets? Well, I liked it when they had shops, but they do still have a website. I think I got something from them not too long ago, actually. Would you ever do a behind the scenes video? I did when I had Patreon. I did a couple of little behind the scenes snippets, but I've been thinking of putting something together. I've got two different ideas basically. One of them is a getting started wild camping type thing, how to go about it, and the other one is filming a camping video basically, sort of with how you can go about that. So there are two videos I've been thinking about for quite some time now. Hello Scott Roberts. Rebecca, I think I've seen this already. Hey, favourite film? Depends on my mood. Planes, Trains and Automobiles. It's a brilliant film. Recent film, The Witch. Really like The Witch. There's too many. I'd love to camp in Canada, Simon, I would. Hopefully one day. No, I don't think I've camped in Wales. I was all ready to go to Wales in the beginning of March, late February, and everything started kicking off. I mean, we had them rains, which was just awful, and I wouldn't have been able to film in them, and then this kicked off straight afterwards, so it was just, I was almost there. My camera, my main camera is a Canon EOS M3. I've used that for a long time now, and my secondary camera, where it was with me, is the DJI action camera. Can't think of the name right now. Would you go on TV shows like Alone? Alone is the only one I've really seen. I don't like kind of people drama stuff and voiceovers and presenters and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't have a TV, but I have downloaded and watched Alone. I like the fact that there's no presenters or anything like that. It's just people, kind of like how Les Stroud used to do it, just people with a camera on their own. I'd love it for a week or two, but then it just becomes an endurance game, doesn't it? You're just holding out, starving yourself for the money. So I don't know. I was approached twice now, I think, by different production companies who've said, we're working on a program, would you like to audition for it? But both times they were American companies anyway, and it probably wouldn't have worked because I know on Alone you have to be American or Canadian, I think. So it probably wouldn't work anyway, so I didn't bother. Oh no, that's my last one. You and Simon should camp in Colorado. Yeah, if I went to America, camp in Colorado would be very high on the list. It does look beautiful. Andrew, I can't remember where I got my camera. I think I got it on eBay, if I'm honest. But I got a Canon because I used to have Canon SLR and I had Canon lenses and can use them. Lex, I do not have children. Never married, no children. Simon, the only place in England that you can camp kind of without permission pretty much is Dartmoor. They have a map online of all the areas you can park, which are pretty much all the moorland parts and not the forest parts. That's pretty much the only place, unless you want to go to Scotland, where they have the right to roam. It'd be great for a TV show. Thank you. I was drinking punks, but I was on a virtual pub last night with some friends and I drank more than I should have. Who farted in the Rye video? That was Tom. Like I would do that. That's so uncouth. You have to be an Essex boy to do that. Jason, I'm restoring a fuel hand lamp. And you should see that video soon. My plan is, spoiler, not to paint it, because I've already de-rusted it and everything, is to electroplate it. Excuse me. So I'm going to be electroplating that soon, and hopefully that will be a video. I did not used to be a chef. I thought about it once. I learnt to cook when I became vegetarian when I was a teenager, and then I started eating meat again, and then I got into barbecue, like proper smoky barbecue, and I started a catering company doing barbecue. It was very hard doing it all, cooking all night and then serving all day and stuff like that. Did like pub pop-ups. I used to sell spices and sauces. I want to kind of incorporate that into the channel a little bit, so I've thought about selling my spices and my sauces, but under the new Kent Survival kind of brand. And as I was thinking that, Joe Robinette kind of released his spice blend, so I was like, can't do it straight away anyway. So that's kind of something I might do. But yeah, so I'll kind of bring that in. I may even do some smoking. I'd like to do it naturally, but it's a very hard process to do, kind of like you would for drying. So we'll see. Simon, I was never in the military, no. I think you have to be very much a team player to be in the military, and I'm a very solo person. Hartley Hare, thank you very much. I wish I could have that beer right now because I've run out. currently for a living, I do YouTube. The past couple of years, I've had YouTube, which has obviously not been as high as it is now. I say now, recently. And through the summer, kind of spring to autumn, I do kind of woodwork with a friend of mine. And the YouTube was just kind of helping me tick over winter. And just as things have started to get good on YouTube, yeah, I've got no other work, and YouTube has dropped right down. So, you know, I'm just in the same boat as everyone else really at the moment. A lot of people on this universal credit basically, and I'm just ticking over barely on YouTube. But it is what it is, isn't it? We're all in the same boat here. If you're after a bushcraft knife, Lee, I've been using my Condor Bushlaw for over 2 years, maybe 3, and I love it. If you think it's too big, or I mean, it's not too expensive, but if it's too expensive for you, look at Mora, because their companion knife's like £10, and the others go up from there, and they are tough. They are great knives for the price. Today's world, no. I'm working on that. It's obviously what's going on at the moment is kind of going to push everything back as it has to with everyone else. Message. This is moving at a better rate than last time because there's less people. This is nicer. I have Bushcraft, just UK and Sweden really. But yeah, I would have liked to have got about more this year, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So that may have to be the plan for next year. Patreon. I had a Patreon, probably set it up when the channel was too small. It's something I've never been entirely comfortable with, but it's something I have been thinking of recently. But I don't know if now's the right time to be setting up something like that. Just because everybody's, you know, having a tough time at the moment. So don't want to be doing that sort of whole e-begging thing when everyone's in the same hole. We all love Andy, thank you. Yeah, the comments are nicer right now, a nicer pace. Fat wood, bits and pieces, is the resinous part of pine. It will be found in the roots and where branches meet the trunk. So you find a dead pine tree, kind of dig up them roots a bit and chop into them, see if it's kind of orangey red and smells kind of terpsy. That's your fat wood. Or find them branches, generally the lower ones I think, saw them off right at the trunk, and that first couple of inches will often be fat wood. Just take off that bark and you'll have a lump of it, and yeah, it's a great fire starter. I shall now show the thing that I showed earlier for those who missed it, because why not? I'm proud, and it's thanks to you guys, I guess. So got this from YouTube. Sorry if you was here earlier and saw this and you're still here. Don't want to repeat myself, but I prepared so many things to talk about, and that's my Silver Play Button Award. That's for passing 100,000 subscribers. So yeah, thank you guys, you're the subscribers. And I need to find a place for it on the wall. Well, the delay is a lot better on the video now, it's only about 10 seconds or so. So yeah, let's make this a million one. My favourite season for camping is autumn generally, but this autumn was just a washout. Just rained non-stop. We're in the States. As someone said earlier, Colorado is high on the list. My friend Ria Lobran, Sai, he goes to Montana a lot, and he said maybe I could come along one day, and Montana looks pretty cool, the mountains and that. So who knows, maybe that will happen. I do have tattoos. I think they've been in videos before. I'm sure you'll see them in the summer. Thank you for the congratulations. Andy, how long have you had your truck? I'm after one. Kev, my truck I've had, it's got to be 6 years, maybe more. Yeah, it's got to be more. No, 6 or 7 years. I got it stock, standard. It had been used for agricultural work, and before that it had 2 previous owners. I think it was towing racehorses, so it's had its time off the road. I got it. I got a friend of mine to do a body lift on it, wind up the torsion, suspension, stick on my new wheels and tyres. I put on the snorkel. I put on the roll bars, which kind of decorative ones. They're not proper welded in roll bars. I did the paint job. It was black already, but I did it matte black. That was the main work, really. And recently it's had a hell of a lot of work done on the engine because it blew up when me and Tom were coming back from Rye when we camped on the beach. And I say blew up, it blew up. We was driving along the motorway. I looked at Tom and I said, that truck stinks, as we was overtaking it. The smoke started to come in through the vents and where the ashtray is, and I was like, oh, I think this car stinks. So we pulled over, and yeah, I keep topping it up with coolant. Cylinder heads are gone. I'm not married, Josh, no. Currently cooking with wood in the garden. Do you have any tips on avoiding creosote? Depends on the wood you're using. Like hardwoods, if you've got them for a start, definitely. The hotter that fire is, the better it's going to be burning. Ah, Real O'Brien, hello. You're right, mate. Yeah, we'll have to talk. Thank you for that offer. If it's, yeah, that would be amazing. Just this freaking isolation business, pain in the arse, isn't it? Do I run the truck on cooking oil? I don't. It's a mod I thought about doing. I'd have to change the fuel injectors, I think. And that's the only thing I'd have to do, because I've read that the ones in it would not be great for that. Joe Robinette in the house. Hiya, buddy. Hope you're all right. I'm not going too mad. Well, you could probably get out better. You're kind of out in the sticks now, aren't you, mate? What was my favourite filming session? My favourite filming session would have been in Sweden with Simon. Obviously, other than the day I got sick. But even that, I think, is a great experience. To be that ill when you're out in the wilderness is a good experience. It's you know, a learning experience, and Simon was brilliant helping out at the time. But yeah, just Sweden, just amazing. So different from round here. Someone see if I've seen any morels yet. I have not. We've not really been able to do much foraging. I think there would be some morels at the new permission woodland I've got, because you've got a west-facing slope. I think they grow better on. Yeah, it'd be good to get down there and have a look. I may get down there at some point, because I just need to get out just for a walk properly. I really do. Good night, Andrew. Thank you today as well. Yeah, Sweden trip was amazing. And like I said earlier, I was thinking of going back earlier this year, but with everything that was looming, I thought it better not to travel. Excuse me, that's the brew dog. Oh, I really wish I had one more beer. One more beer. Ain't got no more. It was a shame to be sick on that trip, it was, but it was good to experience it in a strange way in hindsight, to just experience that, and having to paddle the canoe the next day after being sick, just kind of not having that energy and seeing what you can do when you put your mind to it, because we had the currents, the wind was against us, getting to an island. Excuse me. Love that Joe is here. I found Andy from watching Joe's video. It was very nice of him to give us that shout out. Probably more than one shout out now, to be honest. It is Andy. My name is Andy. A lot of Americans assume that I'm Kent. Kent is not a big name over here. Kent is the county that I live in. Would I ever think about bringing out a book? I've alluded to it before, but yes, I'm working on something at the moment. It's not really survival related, it's more the food and campfire, survival fire side of things than the other side. I don't consider my expert on many things, but the food, I guess, is my strong point. So yeah, it's something that I'm working on. I was working on it last year, but things went crazy last year. That's why I took that break, and now things are going crazy again in another way in the world. So that's probably going to be pushed back to Christmas. Watch this space. Don't mention the drone. Joe from Chatham, Kent County. God, Chatham is just over the river from me here. That's crazy. Yeah, a delayed congratulations, Joe, on the 1 million. Did you get your play button? I was just showing off my 100k one. I have to stick it on the wall. Thank you. Miles, do you do this for fun or is it passion? It's something I did for fun when I was younger. I kind of was in a funny place, and I was like, I want to do what I was happiest doing, and I started getting back into it, and I started the YouTube channel to push myself, basically. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, I got into the YouTube to push myself. So if I have to have a video every week on something, I have to prep it and I have to force myself to go do that thing. And I'm someone that needs that, what's the word I'm thinking of? I need that push, and I need something to get me out of bed. Otherwise I'll just stay in bed and dwell. And it's been great just to have that little extra push that my mind's gone blank. But yeah, just having that push to get out and do something, because once you're there, you have a whale of a time. So yes, I did it for the love of it, and to give myself some motivation. That's the word. God, I've only had 2 beers. Love your videos. My dad said hello. Hello, and thank you for the congratulations. Yeah, it's cool. It's definitely going on the wall. I was going to do. It's mad the way it went from sort of 40,000 subscribers up to sort of 150, whatever it pretty much is now. I was planning my 50,000 subscriber video, and I was like, oh, I've got a month to put something together, and I was going to jokingly make a 50k play button because I only do one at 100k, and then in the space of a month I went up to 100k. So I was like, okay, well, I'll save this and I'll do a video and kind of make one as well, and yeah, it's gone to like 150 already. So crazy times. I've messaged before about your openal. What was it about my openal? I've got a 6 and an 8. If that's what you're asking. Yeah, but yeah, an openal is a fantastic camp kitchen knife. So I always take an openal and my bush law. It's a great combo because you got a fixed stock knife. When you're cutting, say, vegetables, you get wedge shapes and they just fling everywhere. So having a nice slim knife that's lightweight as well, just for kind of food prep, doesn't have to be a strong knife, is good. Can you name 9 YouTubers you would invite at a theoretical dinner party? Campfire dinner, is it? God. Do they have to be outdoors YouTubers? Get back with me that and I'll have a think. Yes, Scottish Wanderer, Stuart. I've chatted with Stuart before. Hello, Paul. Thanks for the congratulations. Liked the Mega Burger. Thank you. I had my big flat piece of slate for cooking the Mega Burger on, and while I was prepping the food before I put it on the fire, I stood on it, I backed onto it, and I broke it because it's only a thin piece of slate, and so I had to use the other rocks for that Mega Burger video. You'd love to see more spoon carving. Well, yeah, now I've done this, I'm feeling the spoon carving again. So I'll have to do one. It's just that obviously it takes, let's say, a minimum of an hour, hour and a half to do a spoon, to the point of kind of sanding. So that's a lot of time when I'm filming everything at camp. It's a tricky one. But yeah, that's why I did that hot bell tent camp. And I was carving a spoon and it went on the fire and I quickly knocked out a spatula instead. Yeah, I sometimes try and cram too much into one video. Hello, Herne Bay. Knife laws. Well, knife laws here are very open to interpretation. You know, you can carry it if you have a need to, and that is discretionary to a police officer. Firstly, obviously, you need to be stopped and searched for that to become an issue. This is my work now. It's my hobby at the very least as well, and I have a reason to have that knife. Now that I'm using permissioned land a lot as well, excuse me, it's even less of an issue because they can't just come onto private land and start searching me for knives. Like they couldn't just come in your house and do it. Excuse me, but that's very different from if you're walking around the city with a knife. Des and Sarah Carter, thank you very much. Loving the vids, please up the good work. Keep up the good work. I will do my best during these trying times for sure. I was saying earlier I've got video to go up this week that was filmed in the garden, which is very small and next to a motorway. So give me some feedback on that, guys, when you see that one. It's very different. And I'm working on 2 other videos, one of them being the lamp restoration that I mentioned before. I mean, it's a weird thing to bring up. I won't be going to the woodland and doing camping videos and stuff because it's the right thing to do at the moment. I can go from my driveway all the way to this woodland, into the woodland, and there's no one else there because it's private to film a video. But there's a lot of social shaming and things going on at the moment, and being in the public eye, I think it's probably right to set an example. So although I would not encounter anyone, I would be completely isolated, it's probably best to still avoid doing that for the time being. Tomahawk mixed grill. Well, I've done that one tomahawk. I'll have to get another one. Was that a cough? Yes, that's from talking for how long now? Hour and 20 minutes. I'm going to have to wrap this up shortly. Best type with insulated side. I've only got the one that's got the reflective side, and that's my 3FUL gear one, which is a great type. I'm actually on my second one because I burnt holes in the first one. Anything new? Thank you, Kathleen. I'll do my best to keep you all entertained, and I'll probably do a couple more of these live streams as well. Kent Survival. I live in Kent, and I think when I first started the channel, I was thinking, if you look at the earlier videos, you'll see survival kit type stuff, and things have kind of changed on the channel a bit, haven't they? Use card truck if you stop banknotes, please. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If I stopped by the police, I would try and explain everything to the best of my ability, and then run. Oh, Bushwhacker, thank you very much indeed. Always keep beer in your top. Yeah, if I wasn't on a virtual pub last night, I would have had enough to last me. Right, guys, I think I am going to make a move now because I need a pee. But thank you all for coming along and joining me on this one. I will do a couple more of these. I mean, none of us know what boat we're in here, so you know, as long as this goes on, if this is entertaining people, we'll keep doing it. I'll try and come up. I thought the things that I'd arranged here was going to kind of fill out an hour or so, but yeah, maybe I'll come up with a little quiz or something like that. We'll see what we can do. Let's be creative. That's what these times are about. And I'll get more beer. I can't leave the house. I'll try and get a delivery. Well, thank you all very much. Very much appreciated if you'd come along and keep me company. And I'll see you all soon. Wednesday, new video. Check it out. Goodbye and stay safe. Stay indoors. Now I don't know how to stop this. Goodbye.